We're discussing the future plans as to what we're going to do to in the defense of our grandmother moon. So they're already working on putting things together chronologically as to our involvement with this struggle since 2009. So we're also going to give a very brief moon teachings. So come on with us. Okay, so we're going to give a brief moon teachings. Of course, in April at the event, we're going to give a more in-depth moon teachings. One that identifies every aspect of the relationship between our grandmother moon, our mother earth, and us. But for now, we'll just identify that we'll give you the basics that will utilize this light source here. It will represent our eldest brother, the sun. And so from where I'm sitting, then I will represent our mother earth. So you know that our grandmother moon spins around our mother earth, so but she does not rotate. It is always just one face that we are looking at, which is very important in understanding the functions of the moon. But that will be in April, where we'll get into that. But just to show you in a nutshell what happens to our grandmother moon as she's going around our mother earth, the distance from the far side to the far side is approximately 800,000 kilometers. And so if you are the far side of the moon facing away from the sun in full moon phase, which means, of course, the full moon is on the far side of us. Basically, if this is the sun, the full moon would be to this side. That what is happening to our grandmother moon, as she is approximately, again, 800,000 kilometers further from the sun, and also since the far side of the moon is away from the sun, it is getting super cold. And as it gets super cold, it contracts. Just like anything, this is basic science, basic physics, what you learn in grade 3. So when something gets cold, it contracts. Now, when the moon comes around and is closer, 800,000 kilometers closer to our eldest brother, the sun, then what is happening is the far side from us, which is nearer to the sun, is expanding, because, again, basic science, whenever anything is closer to a heat source, it expands. You get closer to the fire, you're going to get hot. When you get hot, your pores open. When your pores open, you sweat. So what happens is that the water from the interior of your body actually leaves your body when you get super hot. So what is actually going on all the time on our Mother Earth, depending on where you are in the seasons, that there is a constant condensation that is happening upon our Mother Earth, a rising of the of condensation rising off of the earth. You may see it in your area as fog or mist in the mornings or at night. Anyways, this is the water leaving the body of our Mother Earth, and it rises up into the highest reaches of our Mother Earth's atmosphere, and just like our body, when it gets super hot, the pores open and the sweat leaves our body. The same thing with our Mother Earth, super hot seasons, depending again on where on our Mother Earth, the condensation is leaving the body of our Mother Earth, and it gets caught in the solar winds that's being emitted from our eldest brother, the sun. And so during full moon phase, the water that is leaving our Mother Earth is being caught by our grandmother moon in full moon phase. And so as she's spinning around the earth, then there is the combination of the centrifugal force of course, our grandmother moon rotates at approximately 10,348 miles an hour around the earth. So that is quite fast, and you have then the centrifugal force of that motion pushing the water through the body, but combined with as our grandmother moon comes back around closer to the sun, the centrifugal force combined with the heating up of the far side, then heating up here like a sponge. If you could imagine, if it was frozen, no water would seep through. But if you melted that ice in the sponge, then all the water would just seep through. So this is what happens to our grandmother moon as she gets closer to the sun in new moon phase. Then that water is in condensation form, leaves the body of our grandmother moon. And as it leaves the body, it gets again caught in the solar winds, and then it is brought back to the body of our Mother Earth. This is basically the functions of the human heart. The human heart does only two things. Well, it's one motion, but it does two things. It expands and contracts. And when it expands, the sound that the heart makes is a boom. When it contracts, it makes that sound, boom. So it is a boom, 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 boom. This is what happens with our grandmother moon in the full moon and the new moon phase. So the new moon phase is picking up, releasing the reoxygenated blood. It's the equivalent of when the heart pumps out the blood into the main artery and then goes throughout the body. And then in the full moon, it pumps the water back in, because the water is then leaving the earth and going back into our grandmother moon in the contraction phase, pulling it in. So we have basically, we see through basic common science, elementary grade science, stuff that you learn in grade 3, you learn something about our grandmother moon that science knows about, but is not identifying to the people, because science tells people that the moon is a cold, dead place. It's lifeless. But when you know that the moon is expanding and contracting, and there is water flowing through the moon, being rejuvenated, reoxygenated for our Mother Earth's body, when you know this, then you know that the moon is literally the beating heart of our Mother Earth. And when you know that it is the beating heart of the body, then you look at what is happening to the body. There's the powers that be of democapitalism are digging up the river right here, digging up the vein right here. And the people are going there to protest. They're protesting that, oh, you're digging up right here, or you're breaking a finger, or you're cutting down the forest. People are protesting these things when right in front of our eyes they are attacking the heart. They are sticking a knife in the heart of the body, and we around the world are wasting our time arguing and being killed for protecting or trying to protect rivers from being destroyed, waters from being destroyed, and taking away the accessibility of those waters from the masses of people. When we see these things happening, yes, it concerns us as humans, and we focus our energy there. But what this moon teaching shows us is that there is something larger happening in the world. Something larger happening to the body of our Mother Earth. And what it is a collective concerted effort of all 7 billion people on this planet. And when now that you have super gangs of billionaires coming together and putting their monies together, conglomerating their monies in the efforts, joining their monies in the efforts to space exploration, space exploitation, the exploitation of our grandmother moon. When you know that this is happening, then there you can see a larger, sinister plan that is actually killing the body of our Mother Earth by having the knowledge, but not sharing this knowledge with the people of what our grandmother moon is. That our grandmother moon is alive, that she is the beating heart of our Mother Earth. But today's science is telling you a lie, that our grandmother moon is a cold, dead, lifeless place. And they're saying that there is resources there. And so as long as we have the practice of democapitalism identifying resources, those resources are there to be exploited. And the exploitation of the resources of our grandmother moon will destroy her. And when she is destroyed, the beating heart of our Mother Earth will die. So we must act fast on protecting and defending our grandmother moon. We must have every person on the planet push their countries, push their governments, to push the United Nations to declare the moon to be a World Heritage Site, so that it is not to be exploited or to be militarized or to be colonized. That our grandmother moon has been there for countless generations of our ancestors that lived by her beautiful face, lived by her cycles. And now today, the stupid people of democapitalism are attacking the very heart of our Mother Earth, which we need to survive. We are on the verge of a war, and it is a full-blown economic war that is being waged against all that is natural. We must stand up. We must take action. And so our efforts to expand the moon teachings to everybody is not to make us famous or whatever like that, but is to spread the information, the knowledge to the people of what all the people of our Mother Earth used to once have, the knowledge of our grandmother moon. But the male dominance in destroying the women destroys the woman's identity, destroys the woman's knowledge. And so therefore, no one on the planet any longer is teaching their daughters, teaching their sons about the truth of our grandmother moon, how she is the beating heart of our Mother Earth. So this is our efforts. What we are going to do, we are pushing this summer, this year, to have the United Nations declare our grandmother moon to be a World Heritage Site. This is a must. If this is not done by the end of summer, our grandmother moon is doomed. And you will never be able to look at her the same way again. Try looking at her when there is an advertisement sign on her advertising some international corporation. Because the international corporations have been granted the right to do just that. By the United States, by the European Union, by all countries associated with the United Nations, because this is a United Nations agenda to destroy our grandmother moon. So all humans, we must come together in a concerted effort to protect and defend our grandmother moon. The time is now.
Yeah.